People got really sick. The governor came back. Lots of people died. But the question that everyone really wants to know is... Where's Carl?
Carl's gone.
What?
Carl's gone.
What?
So maybe he snuck outside.
Carl, go inside, please.
Carl's gone.
What?
Carl's gone.
What? Carl, that ain't cool, man. You could've gotten out.
That's my boy!
Hello and welcome to Resisting Boredom, where we drink, ramble, and discuss about all the things that help you in your never-ending quest of not being bored. I am Brandon Kaiser.
I'm Josh Jessen.
Kit Coleman cool.
And today we are going to be talking about the Walking Dead fall season of Season 4. Yeah. So, Scott Gimple became the showrunner this season. Took over for Glenn Mazzara, who had taken over for Frank Darabont. They have a problem with going through showrunners.
And if you understand any of that...
Then you're a nerd. So, welcome. So yeah, lots of stuff happened this season. First and foremost, do you want to say it?
Where's Carl?
Sucked.
No. We read the comics.
We do read the comics.
So we may say something about like, oh, this was different in the comics. This, compares this way to the comics. So hopefully we won't ruin anything.
The comics, remember.
It is the untold golden rule of the internet to not spoil Walking Dead in comic book form for people, but, we may falter a little bit in terms of comparing it to the things that went on this season. So,
We will falter.
Just forewarning. Anyways, let's start out last season. We were all kind of disappointed, I think, right, with the way it ended?
Last season certainly ended on a note. That's all I can say. That was it.
A disappointing note.
Andrea died, and they got the guys from the Woodbury.
Merle turned into a zombie.
A bunch of shit happened, and I don't think there was any really... No one really cared. I think that was about it.
Yeah, it was a lot of build-up for letdown, basically.
You expected some sort of epic sort of fight between the two camps and something happened, and really it kind of just fizzled.
They build it up to a fight, and then it fizzled.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the whole season. Build up, fizzle.
Let's just keep saying fizzle.
Yeah, let's just keep talking about this. So anyways, this season we came in, and now we had... The prison life was different with everyone. We kind of jumped ahead like 6 months, right? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah. They got the new people from
Woodbury.
The Woodbury camp. They also have some people they actually met along the way who happened to cross paths with.
And they have a council now. Now it's not a dictatorship. Now it's a council of...
Is that what they called it?
Like whatever the original... 5
or 6 people.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many people are in the council.
Did we ever establish...
The council of main characters is basically what...
Did we establish who the council was?
I pretty much thought it was all the main central characters aside from Rick and Carl.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it seemed like.
Rick wanted to stay out of it, pretty much.
Yeah, Rick didn't want to be leader anymore. So.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I remember an episode where they said.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever said.
Other than
I don't think they ever said that this is the council.
They just gotta have a meeting, and you go back and rewatch. You're like, oh, that's who the council is.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But anyway, so they have a council now. Things were a little different, and
prison life is cruising along.
Yeah, they got farming.
Farmer Rick.
Farmer Rick with the pigs.
He's got his own pigs.
Trying to go guns at some point.
What? Yep.
He's sticking in the ground.
All right, burying guns. Yeah, he was growing ammunition, right? Is that how it works? You bury a gun?
I wish.
That's what
all right, so anyways, the first major thing that happened this season, pretty much, you may argue, but it is basically the illness, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, that is the first thing that happened.
Well, people might argue the Big Lots expedition and stuff like that.
But that was interesting. I enjoyed that.
I'm sorry, Big Spot, not Big Lots.
Big Spot.
We are no way sponsored by Big Lots.
Since I forgot all about that, I'll assume that isn't the first big thing that happened.
So basically, a giant illness happens. Everyone starts getting sick.
The flu. Yeah.
And it's a fucking serious ass illness.
Yeah.
I thought, and we talked a little bit about pacing this season, or we are going to talk about it.
Sure.
In our pre-show discussion. But I just thought they kind of rushed through the plague, and the plague was kind of just like, bam, people are getting sick, and they're going to die in 24 hours. It just seemed like...
I don't think it was 24 hours. I think
it was like a day
you
or
had
two.
You had a couple days. Yeah. It seemed like you had a couple days.
But they had to rush those people out in the car, go get the medicine, and they had to come back really soon. Otherwise, everyone was going to die. But I mean, they've been sick for a day or two. And then even Glenn catches it, and Glenn's almost about to cough up a fucking lung within 12 hours. It's not even day. Night has not even fallen since he first started getting sick. Got sick. And they're like, Glenn's not gonna make it. He's literally, that one guy's had it for 2 days. Glenn's got it for 8 hours, and he's about to die.
Well, but Glenn didn't die. So obviously, it wasn't as serious as they let us believe.
Right, but they really pushed how urgent. And well, some people did die. They just
some people did die.
They really pushed the urgency of the illness. Just really,
it was a different thing they never really showed in the comics.
Yeah, it was
the
something
idea
that
of
wasn't in the
disease,
comic.
with no hospital to like approach for like help or aid or anything like that. No pharmacies. It's just like wow.
No, it was an interesting.
Like bunch of bigger
it.
people
Yeah, I
huddled
liked it
together,
too.
a disease is gonna develop, and
Other than the fact that it seemed like they kind of like pushed it along really quickly.
a little bit, yeah.
It did seem like an interesting original plot line.
Yeah, but you don't want it to go on for too long either.
No.
I mean, this show in the past has dwelled on things for way too long.
It just made a whole new dangers. Like now on top of like just waiting to like on top of the zombies, it's like there's this disease that could just kill them and turn them into one of them, unbeknownst to everyone else. Like they kind of had showed, and just it was a nice little twist there.
It was an interesting way of stringing us along, but not necessarily moving things forward in any major way. I guess.
It was a way to fill episodes, is what you're saying.
But it was a well done and interesting way to.
I like the whole adventure out to get the medicine. I think.
Yeah.
We'll get it later on. We'll get to some more of this once we move on past the sickness to the events that occurred later.
Do you want to move on to that?
Let's move on to later.
Well, the sickness part, I felt like when they actually were like getting the medicine, I thought was.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, there was good
like
stuff.
they actually showed a real herd there. So they kind of drove up to the car.
there was
it showed a little bit
Bam,
what I
it's
think
like
the
shit.
show. It showed what I think the show misses a lot of is the actual zombie apocalypse part and people fighting zombies, because it's a lot of interpersonal drama and like human versus human sort of stuff.
Oh yeah,
with zombies in the background.
The part about them actually like going to the college to get the stuff.
That was
the scene that I really enjoyed.
That was real danger.
Tyrese going fucking nuts and just like crushing skulls with the hammer, and that was to me the basketball scene.
Yeah, it was him in the
basketball
gym.
court scene, the gym scene from the comics.
Yeah,
where like it was just like left him in there for like 3 days, and like
I don't think
Rick
it was 3
came back.
days.
It was like a several. It was actually several days, and Rick came back. He's like they tell him, he's like, you fucking left him in there, and they open the thing, and he's just sitting on a bunch of corpses. Like, hey, you're Rick, you're back.
Yeah.
So like we said, we may talk about the comics.
It was like
great scene.
I forgot the juxtaposition of that. I forgot all.
I didn't remember exactly how it went down, but I remember that scene. It was very important.
But so I mean, after the plague is resolved, more or less.
Well, a couple things happened. Carol got kicked out. Carol became like super badass in this season. Like she became cold and like
Carol's training children to murder.
which comes into play later. But
she focused more on triage, I guess. Is that what you're?
Yeah, it's sort of. But
like they were gonna die anyway.
The
so
first two victims.
Else.
I think they were probably dead when she burned
was
them.
That was Tyrese's daughter?
Well, she killed them first.
Who was?
I don't know.
Was it a sister or daughter in this one? I know he had a daughter in the comics. It was
he had a daughter. The daughter, died.
All right.
Like, killed herself.
Yeah, I remember that. But okay, so that was his sister in this one. So I mean, she kills her and other guy.
And that's when they figured out that zombies could come back.
What?
Carol kills his.
It was Tyrese's like girlfriend.
Was it his girlfriend or? His
no, it was his sister.
It was his sister. I thought.
It was his sister.
I thought they were like together.
No.
Well, they were together, but
he has Sasha or whatever. Like that. That's like his sister.
No, I mean, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sasha. I thought we were talking about.
Sasha's his sister. But then, like, that was his girlfriend, or
we
like,
pay attention to all the details here in existing.
I do.
I got confused.
I said it right.
Yeah, fuck you.
So, all right.
So
Anyways, sorry about that.
Carol kills his girlfriend and
another guy.
Another guy.
The initial sick people, basically.
She kills him because
she wasn't wrong though. I mean, she's trying to save everyone.
She wasn't wrong, but she was wrong in that it pissed off Tyrese.
And then Rick did some actual police work, which is the first time he had to do in a long time, and figured out it was Carol.
And they kick her out for whatever temporary that's going to be. I don't see it as she wasn't in the rest of the series, but it doesn't mean she isn't going to come back.
Rick more or less is
she'll
like,
come
look,
back.
You're not coming back with
I don't know if she'll come back to the
here.
group, but she'll pop up again, definitely, I think. But
she's going to have to.
So I mean, that was a good like plot too. Like I wanted to see more of that, but what we got was the governor.
Yeah.
The governor's triumphant return after not even waiting an entire season. I really think they jumped the governor too soon.
Yep. I actually yelled at the screen too soon.
But I was glad that they waited as long as they did. I was afraid we were going to get Governor, like, episode 2. You know, like, right away.
To be fair, they kind of foreshadowed Governor in episode 1.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, maybe it foreshadowed to me. See, here's
mean-
what I wanted for this season was a lot of like when they showed the plague and stuff happening was I could have saw like a whole season of like shit that like it wasn't more about the zombies, more about shit getting wrong in the prison and things were just gonna get worse and worse.
Surviving.
And like people are gonna be accused of like hoarding goods. Like maybe the fence goes down there.
Okay.
Like a bunch of shit was gonna go wrong, and it was all about what's going wrong. And then maybe at the end of the season, they finally show like the governor. Like that's when they
Like a teaser for the end of the season of
like
the
maybe
governors?
like it wasn't like people were accusing each other. The entire community falls apart, and what it really was the governor behind the scenes, like pulling, like just trying to implicate people, just fuck with people, kind of manipulate everything, and it was really him. And set up another season for that. Like they could have done they could have done the plague plot. I think this half of the season, just done a bunch of like the plague. Like more about like it not so fatal, not like it was gonna kill them in like 72 hours, but like maybe they had a week, so they would have given more people more adventure stuff of braving the zombies.
Maybe they would have needed several trips
Yeah.
out to get supplies
Or
and
maybe
medicine.
not the summer trip, but like the trip, like more of like an they have to go way out there and it's more dangerous, and they have the episodes of the more danger fighting, and then back at the camp people are like accusing each other, supplies are going missing. Maybe there's a group that's gonna try to run off. Maybe there's like maybe Carol is still there and killing people secretly and trying not to get caught or something like. But really at the end it was always the governor who was like just trying to plant the seeds to fuck everything up till the next part of the season when at the end we finally see it was him, and then we bring him back. I think bringing him back. I think we had 3 episodes of him. Like we had 2 devoted.
Well, yeah, 2 that were straight him, and then 1 that was.
And then the whole like eventual fall.
Yeah.
It just seemed kind of like they rushed the plague and then they brought the governor back. To me, that's what it felt like.
I agree.
And I think because it seemed like they're doing such an original thing with the plague plot that maybe they could have like built them up a little bit more because. Like, and we said that at our last Walking Dead video or whatever the thing was, that the governor
Might have just been audio.
or maybe just audio, but we didn't want the governor to get the Siler syndrome. We
Yeah,
didn't want him to just come back again right away because he was a popular character and people want to see him again.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad they did hold off as long as they did, but I think they could have held off even a little bit longer and made the impact of his return that much better.
I agree with you that it was way too fucking soon to bring him back. But honestly, you saying like at the end of the season they kind of bring him back, I don't think that gets too soon too. I would have liked to see him next season. Not even at the beginning of next season, but the like middle towards the end of the next season.
Ideally for me it would have been like the entire season at the end. I forgot.
Not just be at the end. I mean like just like
no. I forget we do mid-season finales now. I would have liked them not to come back for.
I hated that they had
whole 12 episode run.
I almost
full
hated.
season.
I hated that they had like 2 episodes back to back of him. I'm glad I just didn't watch the first episode because then like when I actually finally fucking watched it, I had the 2 episodes of my DVR, and we were able to get through that no fucking problem.
I thought that was kind of weird that they did.
I wasn't interested in that.
2 back-to-back seasons.
Like my brother was watching a little bit with me. He's like, "Oh, well, they fucking trying to humanize the goddamn like governor again." I was like,
not really.
I guess they fucking kind of are a bit. I mean,
I think they kind of.
Like he's trying to redeem himself or some shit.
No, they
I don't give a
spent
shit.
last year humanizing him. This season was just to prove that he's still an asshole.
They were still humanizing him a bit though.
Yeah, they tried a bit, but then
I think it was to make you think that possibly he's savable.
But
then
then
he wasn't. Yeah, but then
didn't
he wasn't.
give a shit. He was in the, like I just.
Well, that was the point.
It's just
well,
no.
maybe not. You're not giving a shit, but the point was like they tried to make it look like he may have been able to turn around. But at
but
the
then
end
he couldn't.
He doesn't. That was the point of that.
The end, he turned around
Because it's him versus Rick. Rick is a guy who lost it, but he came back from it, and it's the same thing that happens to the governor. Only he doesn't come back from it. Like which is stuck there.
Which is because the comic thing totally different. Because in this one they're trying to make it look like Rick is the guy who lost it, came back. The governor's the guy who lost it and can't. But
they did better in the
comic. Well, no, in the comics he doesn't.
In the comic he's just a straight asshole.
No, I mean,
he's like never really redeemable.
Rick's whole thing was like a lot better in the comics. Like
Rick's
coming back.
It's a lot worse, and
because he accepted, he actually still picked up the phone from time to time. Even after he realized it was Lori.
We can get to that at the end.
Yeah. He just,
That's future discussion.
But even at that point, this hasn't even happened when he meets the governor. That's all.
Yeah.
He hasn't actually fallen as far as he can.
I'm a big supporter of the way the governor was in the comics just because he was an evil asshole from the very beginning. 2 words that Rick said, and he fucking cut off his goddamn hand.
Yeah.
No fucking problem. No remorse.
Well, Woodbury was an entirely different town, too.
Fucking Michonne had much more reason to hate him than she did in the show.
Yeah. He was
And-
way worse.
And
to
yeah,
it.
like actually no, it was like actually when he was walking around town in the comics, he like knew everybody's name and he was real nice. It was more or less they immediately showed his behind the scenes of like
But
what he
even-
was doing secretively before he was actually showing the other stuff about him.
But he wasn't as secretive to the people. In the
everybody,
comic.
most people knew what was
They
going
knew
on.
he
Well, I
was
think everybody
huge.
knew what was going on.
Yeah.
It's just
I
he
didn't-
kept them safe. and
I
that
didn't
was
get
more
that. I
important.
didn't get that feeling as much.
Oh,
in
no,
the comic.
in the comic, he kept them safe, and that was what was.
He
Yeah.
kept him safe, yeah, but I believe like there was quite a few things he just still kept them like under the covers, like when he actually attacked the camp.
Oh yeah, that he did
Like,
manipulate
he didn't
everyone.
fucking know. He told
All
them.
right.
Yeah.
We're talking about a lot of last season stuff
Sorry.
here, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to reel it back in
Yeah.
now. So what we were saying though about the governor coming back, I agree. I would have liked to see him come back in a future season, but I was actually pretty pleased with the way they did it. I don't know if I would have wanted a half a season completely on the illness because I could see it starting to get stale towards the end of it,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to let down again for a season. Like a fall season finale. I didn't want it to just be like worst cured. Like I don't know.
Actually, they pick up the
It's
season,
not.
but
It's not as big of an ending as what we got.
Yeah.
And
That-
as for like them bringing him back and making him redeemed and everything, I thought that was all really interesting. And
or seem redeemable.
I always see the government as different
Governor.
in either thing, or the governor. Yeah, the governor. I always see the governor as different from comic to show, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So,
very.
You know, I just accepted the governor stuff we got because I was like, well, this is a completely different
Phil.
character. You know, it's not the same.
Can we call him Phil?
Well, I think his name is Brian, right? In the
Oh yeah.
Because
He took
Brian
that
only
name.
has one eye.
Yeah, because Brian only has one eye. But anyways,
Phil has two.
yeah, we got it. So anyways, I was actually pretty pleased with the way things went in terms of like the pacing of it. I felt like if they would have had just sickness the whole time, it would have been a little
Yeah.
too drawn out. I was pleased with the way they did it. I thought the odd thing to me with bringing the governor back and having those 2 episodes that were focused on him was they were fine episodes, they were interesting, whatever, and then they ended those 2 episodes by bringing it back to the prison. But when we got to that last episode, it kind of felt like, whoa, what was
Things
going on
have
with these
escalated
people?
quickly.
Yeah, like it just suddenly became like, wait a second, what was going on with these people? Because it was 3 weeks ago, you know, that we were last with them. So you kind of got the feeling of, whoa, what
There
what's
was a
going
lot
on
of-
again?
there
Like you're
was a
trying to
lot of
remember.
rush.
Yeah, it felt very much like
what's going on with which people?
The
the
prison.
prison people.
Rick's
because
camp?
we had 3 weeks without seeing them, so it was kind of like, wow, what was going on when we left them? You know, like
Yeah.
this, you kind of forgot.
I remember
after all
this-
that time.
this-
There was a
got
lot of
the-
catch up. Well, the first half of that episode was a lot of catch up of like,
Yeah.
all right, they're curing people. Rick still hasn't told.
Because he just got back.
Yeah,
and like
that
it was
Daryl,
the end part
Daryl.
where Michonne and
But that was when I
First
realized
one
that
off.
is when Rick is telling Daryl about Carol dying, and I thought of it as, oh yeah,
Not
that
dying,
happened
being
how
let go.
long ago? Or yeah, not dying, let go. So I really can't talk about this right now. I'm just saying wrong things all over the place. But
I'm just
that's
glad-
when I realized when he's telling him that is, wait,
Yeah, that
he
happened.
hadn't tell him yet. That was like how long
But they
ago?
did, and the first
You
thing they
know,
did
like-
show was him catching Michonne and
Herschel.
Herschel. Which
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I was like, oh yeah, they ran it.
Yeah.
Because that was the first thing for me. I was like, what the hell's going? Oh, that's right. They at the end of whatever fucking
Yeah,
episode
it was just
they
kind of odd.
they wandered off and got.
It was just
all they
kinda-
wanted to go.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad they like had like those 2 governor episodes in the middle instead of like flashing between the prison and what was going on
Well,
with
see,
the fucking
that's the
governor.
trade-off because
Like, that was-
Yeah.
pissed me off.
if they were gonna do the governor episode, and in the end that means we would have gotten them an even episode even sooner.
Yeah, that's true.
And the
Probably.
same, I can see what you're saying about like I don't want to see the plague plot dragged out too, but I mean, so I mean that they brought him back then is appropriate because I don't know how long would
Yeah,
they
yeah.
been able to drag it out for.
So
And
so
after a series that's been known for dragging out plot lines way
Yeah, yeah,
longer
yeah.
than they need to be.
I was happy to see them not dwell on it.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm saying. So then we ended up with the big finale with the showdown between the governor is now built back up to a military, like an army of people, right? Like he kind of
Yeah.
had attacking them at the end of the last season. So we kind of are right back where we were
He's got
last
his
season.
tank.
He does have a tank now, which you know they took from the comics. Which is kind of how this ending works. Is they basically went, we're veering off of the comics, and at the end of the season went, no, we're coming back.
They kind of looped back on themselves.
Yeah, and they replaced characters with different characters.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
things happened to different characters than they did in the
Herschel,
Comic,
comic.
notably,
Yeah,
Herschel,
Herschel notably.
takes the role of Tyrese.
Tyrese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
So well, we kind of warned them,
Yeah.
so that we may spoil comic things when comparing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, different people did different things. Different people died. All that kind of stuff.
Carol was done at that point.
Carol was dead at that point in the comics.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
She's
was
also
still alive.
way more fucked up
Andrea's
than
still
that.
alive. Sophia's still alive. I mean, things are a lot different in terms.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
In terms of who's
No,
alive.
Carol
and who's
Carol
dead.
is way more fucking. Carol is like a complete different Carol
Yeah.
from the comics.
Yeah, this one she's strong. That's
That Carol was fucked up and big and Tyrese.
So.
Until Michonne showed up with her sweet black
So.
lady parts.
Yeah. So, anyways, so things escalate. They have a big battle that basically happens when Herschel gets his head chopped off, and half chopped off. It was a Game of Thrones moment where he couldn't quite get it on the one swing.
Favorite meme I've seen so far is like the governor going, "We have a tank," and then Rick going, "We have a Daryl." And
I've
I
seen
just
that,
love
yeah.
that. That was fucking awesome, man.
I guess, which they don't have in the comic as a Daryl because he's not in it. But
It's
anyways,
one downside.
You're eating
So-
tainted meat!
so the governor basically kills Herschel. Basically, he's barely alive and limps over to wherever. But still,
I'm pretty
he's-
sure he finished just killing him later.
Yeah. He gets killed for sure. We know he's not alive.
Finish cutting his head off. Woman
dead.
carrying a dead baby. Hell
So
yeah.
that erupts into gunfire and murder and killing and a bunch of I thought pretty interesting
No, it was,
battle
that was
sequences.
good. It was a lot. It was pretty similar to the comic books, which I thought was like, because it was
fairly similar. Yeah.
fairly not completely,
Yeah,
but it
fairly
was,
similar. They
at least
ran
on the
really
governor's side of things, where the people fighting for the governor were slowly realizing a lot of this is
Yeah,
all
we're
just
wrong.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we fucked up.
Especially with the one chick, the sister of the
Who
chick.
worked in the
Was
police
it Lily?
station as like
Oh no, this is the police chick, right?
Was she a police chick? I thought
She said she
was-
worked at the
That's right.
shit-
She was
she
trained.
yeah,
worked
she
at
was
the desk
in the
or
police
something.
academy.
Yeah.
She was Gutenberging it up.
She was Gutenberg.
Yeah. She like flips out and basically
Yeah.
doesn't really fight in that
And
battle.
the one chick that's almost in lesbians with her,
Yeah.
who gets killed by the children.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, which, when going back to the Carol thing, Carol is teaching the children to defend
Yeah.
themselves.
Because the
That's
children
what-
are like, fuck this
they
shit, we
defend-
have
yeah.
to fight too. And then I thought that was a pretty cool, a little powerful
Yeah.
moment of,
It,
you know,
it reminds you
everyone
of
grows up a little bit more in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the major thing about the whole prison like escape that I remember from the comic part was that's when Rick's wife and
That's when Lori and
Baby.
Judith
Judith,
died.
yeah.
And in this, like at the end of
Little
this,
ass
it's
kicker.
pretty much like Carl. Once Rick finds Carl, he finds
Where's
Carl.
Carl?
And where's Carl? Finds Carl, and they kind of like, where's Judith now? And then they look to the baby carrier, and it's just empty and has a bunch of bloodstains on it.
I think at this point we could bring into what do we think the future of the series holds. I don't think Judith is dead. I
I don't think she is either.
think maybe even Police Girl ran off with the baby and saw it, or someone from the governor's side grabbed the baby and took off because they saw it just abandoned.
that could
Because
be.
we don't see a
I don't
baby
think
corpse.
the children will leave it.
Well, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But at the same time,
I think the next season is going to be a lot about, will Rick
Yeah.
and the baby get reunited? I could see that happening.
at the same
It's-
time, I'm thinking to myself that they can't show a baby getting killed on cable.
Yeah, and
Still-
But at the same
and just
point,
that
because
was-
the blood stage is
that
supposed
was
to
more-
project the
Yeah,
idea
that was more the
baby's
thought.
dead.
That was more the thought for me too, and I think the other reason is because I've read the comic, so I had it in my head that
No, I-
Judith doesn't make it out of this prison.
Yeah, I kind of
But
think the children
I don't
wouldn't leave
expect-
a fucking baby on its own though.
I think maybe they would have tipped over the thing and maybe had a little bit more blood, but not shown.
But maybe this becomes Rick upset and flipping out over Judith dying, as opposed to both of them in the comic at this point.
I would see it. I could see where they're going from there because at this point in the comics, it's Lori just dies. This is where Rick gets the phone, which we've already done in like season 2. Was it 3?
Three, yeah.
We've already had Rick in the phone.
Yeah, that's
which
the
was-
problem. Is we get
Carl.
the phone down, we already had it.
And
Carl fucking losing it, like shooting the shit out of that zombie. I really enjoy that.
Oh yeah. Well, no, and this is more of like Rick. This is where Rick has his breakdown in the comics, and Carl has to become the man.
Yeah,
to,
he
the
develops more as
he,
a man. Yeah.
he gets hard. Carl is always
he
constantly getting hard.
becomes the
Th-
one that
that-
does what needs to be done.
Yes.
That was
Basically
the
what Carl
straw that
becomes.
broke the camel's
But
back.
and
sort of
I don't
Carl.
see them using Judith to do this because honestly, Judith was like the baby that Rick had that he doesn't care about.
Yeah.
It was always like with someone else. Like I don't think
It was kind of
I think
a
if we-
throwaway character if you think about it. Like we never really
Yeah.
got much with Judith.
No,
so
and I think if we had like Rick Judith screen time, we would
we
really.
did some, but not a lot. Like
He's
There's
like
more
barely with her. He's
Daryl
always like he's
Judith.
out in the field.
There's
he's
more
like
Daryl Judith
he's
screen
sweat.
time
He's
than
like
Rick
looking at his gun.
or
going,
Beth and Judith screen time.
yeah, no,
maybe.
it's always Rick going like, crops coming in. This is a hat of peace or whatever. You know,
And
like
where's Carl?
And where's Carl? And he's always like talking with someone, but like when it's where's Rick and Judith together? No, Judith is always with fucking the girl. Herschel's younger daughter, the blonde,
Yeah, Beth.
Beth. See,
So-
the fat one in the comics.
No,
Was she fat in the
No,
comics? I don't
Beth-
think she was.
Was it
Beth
Beth?
wasn't the fat one.
Which one was the fat one?
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember her name.
All right.
She was the
Oh.
fat gothic looking one.
No, there was the chubby Herschel daughter.
Now that we're
Yeah,
out of
that
the
was
prison,
the-
though,
that was the
we know
Goth-
that Glenn and Maggie don't shave their heads. Kind of disappointing.
I'm fine with that.
I know, I'm fine with it too, but
I don't even know.
I
I
knew
don't
it-
even remember why they
I
did
knew
it.
I knew it was something that we weren't going to get in the show, just
Yeah.
because they weren't going to have actors shave their heads for it or put bald caps on them and stuff. You know.
Was that before or after her sisters were killed by that serial killer?
I don't know. It might
No,
have
that
been
was after.
There you go. That's who Beth
Yeah.
was. She was one of the kids killed by the serial
She
killer.
was one of the twins.
What? No.
Well, they were twins.
That was years ago. I read that.
They were just
so I'm
younger
trying to-
sisters.
Or no, wait, there were twins. Who had the twins? I could have sworn Herschel's daughters were the twins. He had like a
Well,
lot
he had,
more kids.
He had two little girls. He had he had a daughter a little bit younger than Maggie, who got killed when they opened the barn.
The fat one was
The
one
fat
that
one got killed when they opened the barn, as well as one of his sons. Or one
No,
of
the
his sons were
son.
in
The
thing.
son slept with Carol, and then Carol went and killed her.
That, yeah, that guy died, and then Herschel said, "Just fucking do it," and they shot him in the head.
Yeah.
All right.
Herschel had a lot of more kids.
There's a lot more.
they killed all
There's
sorts of
a
Herschel
lot
children.
more
It's
main
true.
character death.
But
in
basically,
the comics, yeah.
basically in the show, also aside from Herschel's death, Herschel became Dale because he lost the
Yeah,
leg and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. They did that kind of thing, which I don't think we're gonna get the cannibal stuff now from the comics.
Oh,
No,
God.
there's no Dale, there's no Herschel. There's
Whoa,
no,
whoa! Don't say that so soon. We might.
That's
still
true.
get
There's
that.
always Tyrese.
That's they're gonna replace. Maybe they'll replace.
Because
him.
that's
I
what,
don't know.
well, they've already replaced Dale with Herschel, and then Herschel with Tyrese. So now Tyrese has to replace Herschel for the cannibals.
There was a
No,
thing.
he replaces Dale over. Wow. Anyways,
Yeah.
if they even do it, I mean, we don't know.
There
what's
was a
going
thing when they ate Herschel. It was like, you ate spoiled meat. It's like, what the fuck does it matter?
Tainted
on.
meat!
You'll have the goddamn disease
Okay.
in the first
All right.
place.
Anyways,
They were pissed off anyway.
yeah, it was more of a badass fucking way to
That
go
was
moment.
fucking
all right?
Well, we know in this
Uh,
the coming of this next
Yeah,
spring
we
break,
know we're gonna get Abraham
Abraham.
and Rosita and the other guy. What's his name? I know it
Fucking
too.
scientist guy. I can't remember his name.
Eugene.
Eugene.
Yeah.
There you go.
We get those three.
Where's
and
the
those
bullet?
are
Those guys are
Oh
key
God,
for,
we get the
for what
bullet.
comes next.
those guys are well
for
for
where we're heading.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Things,
we
I
can-
guess things are kind of escalating.
And I hope Abraham's as badass.
we
as
can
he is
pretty
in
much
the
figure
comics,
where they
too.
all went.
I hope he
Like
is.
the main characters went. We can figure where they went, right?
What?
They went to the fucking farm. You think?
What?
That's where they went after the prison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for
Everyone
like
went to the farm
a
again.
couple panels.
For a couple panel. Well, they went there, and that's where they met Abraham and Rosita and everything like that.
Was it that? I thought they met him
Yeah.
on the road.
No, they were at the
No,
farm.
Rick meets up with Abraham and Rosita and all that stuff, but then they run into Maggie and Glenn who were at the farm and they were out patrolling with their horses.
Yeah, and then they brought him back to the farm. And that's when
that's when they
Abraham-
decided to go to Washington.
Do you think we're gonna get Morgan? Because this is around the time where shortly after that happens, they go and get Morgan
He
again.
didn't want to join a group before.
No,
I think
Morgan's done.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
he wants to
Morgan.
join a group
They
again.
used Morgan for the purpose to bring Rick back.
Yep.
I think we talked about that last time.
And
Morgan
they've
was like
said-
a one shot. They used Morgan for his purpose.
I really enjoyed the Morgan episode though.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
great.
They
That was
really
last
they used
season,
them
though,
really
yeah.
I
well.
would like to see him again, but I don't think they're gonna. do it.
I think. Well, didn't they say though that like what's his name, Lenny James or whatever, the actor? Didn't they say he's like really busy and that's why they had a hard time bringing him back? It was
Probably.
finding time. in
Too
his
busy
schedule.
with his Taco Bell commercials. What the fuck else?
He's
is
on
he
that other AMC show too,
Taco
the
Bell
one with
commercials?
no, he's on that Mark Strong show on AMC, that Low Winter Sun or whatever. That's a remake
yeah.
of the British show.
Hello,
It's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be bad. Well,
After Breaking
The
Bad.
British one was
Really?
supposed
I
to
thought
be
it was
good.
supposed to be good.
the British one is supposed to be good. I heard the American one is not as
After
not
Breaking
nearly as
Bad, don't forget to watch.
Which both of them are Mark Strong. It's kind of like Broadchurch in that way, where Tennant's going to play both the same character in both versions, but still.
All right.
So, anyways, yeah. So, yeah, I really don't know where we're going, but here's my worry about where we're going in the show.
What?
We're kind of really quickly approaching where the comic is. Like, I'm starting to get worried
no,
about.
I just kind of realized.
I'm starting to get worried about like this could be.
We're-
In a few seasons, we could be pretty caught up. So.
and I have I don't know if I don't think Kirkman's announced an end to the
He said he has his plan for issue 200
They,
already.
well,
See, there you go.
So-
they had 2 seasons of the prison.
Well, one and a
but-
half.
But we've already.
How many trade paperbacks actually covered?
We had 1.5 seasons of the prison.
How many? Well, 1.5. How many trade paperbacks really covered the prison now?
It's the point of
I
think
mean,
about what's
I
to
think so.
come yet, though. It's not
Oh,
as
no,
much.
we're not-
We're approaching it.
We're
you know
not
what
so
I'm saying?
worried
here's
about last year.
Yeah.
So something happened like in the comics that they skipped a lot from the
They didn't
comics.
really.
That there was that one one condominium not
The
covenant.
gated community.
The gated community.
They
where
skipped
they
the
had the
gated
dead
community,
inside and
yeah.
everything like that.
But that was like
That
an
didn't
issue.
take that long.
That was
Yeah,
like
that
an
didn't
issue or
take
two.
that
Yeah,
long.
and well, they had like several other things before then, I think.
No.
And more or less, I just kind of think they could actually throw some things between then. New stuff, but
Yeah, they could.
Albeit new,
Like the
could
illness.
actually
They should
still
get some
be
new
pretty
stuff.
good.
Yeah, I could see them throwing new stuff.
Like, I
in.
don't think they're approaching it too quickly.
But no, but if
But
they're
I like
continuing
the idea
on
that
this
it's
pace,
wandering.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you get an issue a month. You get a trade twice. You get 2 trades a year.
Like,
right?
after they left
That's-
Herschel's and before they got to the prison, I was actually curious, like, what life was like for them. They, of course, never show them during the winter.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
eventually
almost.
they do.
The other
Like, in the
concern.
show, they never do.
No, not in the show.
But
So-
that's what I mean. Like, I'm just kind of curious.
I mean, there is
Alright.
stuff they can do.
They
for-
could do
They
that.
can stray off and do some
they
stuff.
can they can play a little episode here or there, but at the pace they're going,
They'll reach it eventually.
there aren't that many like comic book story arcs to go. There's on the road with the group they're going to meet next season.
I don't want to go too far ahead in the comics.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to worry about people who maybe are
Right,
behind in the
but-
comics.
I can think of only like 3 major arcs that they have left,
Well, here's the other thing too, though. Thinking
counting
about,
the one that they're on right now.
Thinking about also the things to come in the comic, because like I said, we looped back to the comic here at the end of
Yeah.
the season,
That doesn't
and
mean
because
they
of
can't.
that, I'm thinking, okay, well, so we're just going to periodically go back to the comic, right?
Yeah.
That's still going to be the basis. There's a lot of stuff in the comic that I think is going to be insanely hard to do on a TV budget too,
It is very high.
I
and
would-
will be unlikely to be done in the way that
I would
those are.
really just like to see them do some like stuff I'm not expecting. Like the
I
whole-
would too.
I mean, like the whole like the disease.
You're
thing they
right.
expect.
I can almost
The
guarantee they're not going to
CDC.
try to rape Carl. on
When they
screen.
went to the CDC, I thought that was actually something like, like I actually
Yeah.
thought about that. Like
I
you
forgot.
should've
You know
fucking
what?
done
Thank
the
you for
CDC.
reminding me. I forgot all about the CDC shit.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's probably for the best because that was really stupid.
Well,
It was
at least
not- it was
they
not
went
the
to the
greatest.
CDC.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
thought, hey, we should go to the CDC. That
they
at
did
least
that in the comics.
answered
too.
a question. It wasn't like
Well, they thought about it in the comics.
It
but then
wasn't
they had the news. They're
gripping.
like, don't go there. It's
it,
fucked up.
yeah, it wasn't gripping, but they actually did it. You know.
But yeah, no, there are
Yeah.
there's plenty of ways they can pad it out, but if they're keeping it, unless they have another good like divergent storyline like what they did with the sickness, they're gonna catch up pretty quickly to where they are.
Yeah,
now.
probably are. And then they just kind of go in the way that like pretty much either Robert Kirkman says, well, I was thinking about
They do
going
it
this
Kirkman
way.
does.
I don't know if I'm going
Kirkman's
that
way
Yeah.
or no way.
I think that they're almost reaching that point in Game of Thrones, aren't they?
Well, that's always the worry in Game of Thrones, and I'm saying in here this isn't. Nobody really says that about Walking Dead, and I'm saying that eventually they will catch up. Like it again could be. It's the problem with doing a show or movie or anything based on a series that's still going.
Yeah.
I think the problem occurs people like, oh, well, they still in the fucking prison after like this many seasons or some shit.
Well, but now we're out of the prison. I thought it was a.
Well, actually, has the prison been like?
It's been a season and a half.
Season
I said
and a half?
that before.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways,
More like.
overall, I thought this was a much better season than
Half season.
I expected. Half season, yeah, fall season.
Yeah.
This is better than I expected to begin with, and on top of that,
It
I
is.
thought it was very solid and entertaining throughout. I was never bored or like, come on, let's move on. It's not perfect.
I was a
but,
little bored in the beginning.
Okay.
I actually wasn't too much.
It's not perfect, but I thought it was overall a very strong season, and I'm really excited to see where we go from here, and hope
Yeah.
that it continue this quality.
This
of what we
season
have.
actually had a lot of what I've been missing from the show in the first couple seasons.
Zombies.
Zombies. More zombies. They're not using as many. They're not using.
I
the
think
zombies
they've
as
tricked
much.
you, though. I think there aren't as many zombies as you think in the season.
No.
They've actually had a good amount of encounters of the zombies.
I know, but I'm saying...
And like past seasons, it'd be a whole episode of them
I
just
think you're
talking. And like,
forgetting-
look, there's some zombies in the background. We're
but
not really worried about them though.
I think you're looking at it because it's more recent and that. Anyways.
I mean, where they're out, they're like fighting for their life. Those are the parts that I really enjoy.
well, they're much more organized now,
Yeah.
obviously.
No, no,
so-
and that's why.
Well, I
I
mean,
said-
like they're like desperately fighting for
No,
them.
but
They're like just like fucking kill
No,
the
I
zombie.
think that came
you know.
from when they were looking for the medicine stuff,
Yeah.
which is what I said. I think we need a little bit more
Yeah.
of that adventure.
And then the
danger
fence
sort
went
of aspect.
down,
Yeah.
and they like Carl and Rick had some father-son time shooting the zombies, and that was great.
Like
I enjoyed that.
I'm okay with the prison life stuff being like them trying to get back what they had, but I think we also need to show to get the
Yeah.
supplies and stuff.
Like,
There
hey,
is a
I
lot.
kinda-
Like,
of-
hey guys, let's not forget there's zombies in the goddamn world. We might want to add them into the show. A little
I will
bit.
say I also am kind of liking this season. We started to get a little more of the unrealistic badassery of the characters.
How so?
Like, okay, You don't feel
the one-eyed guy just no shotting fucking zombies.
Yeah,
in the skull.
that too.
Look, I don't have to pull the side anymore. This is fantastic.
I mean, like what you guys are talking about. They go out on runs for stuff, and it's like you never really feel like they're in danger. Even when shit goes down, you're like, oh, check out how fucking badass like everyone is. You know, it's like, but that's entertaining
They
to
live
watch.
in this world long enough that they can be badass.
But it's unrealistic. Okay, you're not gonna get a bunch of badasses like that organized, that well put together. You know, like. Okay, listen, not that much time had passed. It's not like they had for years been doing this, and they had like, you know.
I think in this, it's only been like a year and a half, I think, for them now at this point, or has it been?
I don't even know if it's been that, but you know, I mean,
you guys know.
I'm enjoying them not being so concerned with. We need to have realistic battles with zombies. It's more of let's find some creative, interesting things.
And Michonne go wade in there with a sword.
Yeah, and just kill a ton of people.
God damn, she's awesome.
But it's more entertaining. Yeah, they really enhanced Michonne.
Oh yeah,
Michonne's a lot better this season.
I hated her so much when they introduced her.
She's
just like
so much better.
the mute black chick with a sword. And
but now she's laughing. She's
she's got a personality now, which is the first step to making an interesting character. Give him a personality. Thanks.
Finally,
she's actually interested and engaging.
Like, the show's getting better.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was dipping there, and I was worried. I was like, I'm gonna stop watching.
But I'm saying I like how we're getting more to the unrealistic badassery of characters because one of my questions is how the hell are they going to do Jesus?
Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
I don't think they can do like. How are you going to pull that off?
They can fucking do them.
So
they'll have fucking.
That's a while from now.
It's not gonna be Jim Caviezel.
I
want it to be Jim Caviezel.
They'll totally have
true, but
it'll be awesome.
He's busy with Person of Interest.
What's crazy is his name is probably Jesus, but come on, you
probably
read it, you just go, that's Jesus.
Anyway.
No, he said they call me Jesus because I look like Jesus.
What's
it was that was the
that's,
thing.
anyway, that'll be.
All right, yeah, that's ways in the future.
John Turturro. They should have John Turturro be Jesus.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
They'll never get Daniel Day-Lewis. But
by the way, did
Daniel Day-Lewis in anything?
Blue Diamond Phillips.
No.
Yes.
Blue Diamond Phillips.
Yes.
And he's
Mexican. Pointing at my
Can I ask a question? Did either one of you guys notice at the end part where the zombies are coming toward them, there was that one crazy chick that Rick met in the middle of the woods?
Yes.
Like, approaching? Yeah.
I didn't notice it until it was mentioned later.
Hey, she still showed up. That was great.
I was like, I noticed that was the way the camera focused, I realized I probably should have known who that was, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me.
There you go.
Oh yeah, we kind of forgot to mention the governor's dead. So,
oh yeah,
the way the thing ended.
Oh yeah, not quite the way he went out in the comics, which was
not quite, but
well, the chick
shot by one of his own people
and
saying, "Let's take the prison. If we get into the cell blocks, we can defend ourselves." And it's like bang, 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 click, 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 and then you just pretty much figure that they're all dead.
What?
That was that in the comics.
I don't remember.
No, he was busy.
I don't remember that vividly.
They had just killed Laura.
Yeah.
They killed Lori and the baby.
That you maybe kill a baby, yeah.
And then the one chick who I think at this point in this group was supposed to be the cop chick.
I
thought she was going to
be the army chick.
Well, the army. I thought it was supposed to be her, and that was eventually going to just shoot him because clearly he's fucking insane. And just she kills him, but instead
I think they said it's the same character in both. Okay. Kills the governor.
See, I thought that was supposed to be her. Like eventually,
I never put that together either until they said it.
I thought she was gonna like say no and kill him because that's what happens in the comics, but instead we get the epic fist fight with Rick and
that
the
we
governor.
never got in the comics.
We need the two guys to fist fight each other because this is a TV show.
Yeah.
And then Michonne just comes up and stabs him in the heart, and while he's bleeding out.
This is the thing kind of disappointed me that Rick
Maggie shows
got
up
his
and just
ass
kills him.
beat essentially by the governor and needed Michonne to
They
help
needed to make him seem like a threat. You can't just have Rick go in there and take the shit out of him.
But Michonne had to get her. Michonne needed her piece. She needed her piece, and then she.
It's too bad Maggie.
Her piece.
It's
What
too
the
bad
fuck
Maggie
happened
didn't
to
get
her?
her.
Her friend and Andrew.
It's too bad. It's too bad Maggie didn't get to
Maggie shot him.
Not like
Maggie killed him.
No, she didn't.
Wasn't that Maggie that walked up and just shot him in the head?
No, what? That was that broad. That was that broad with the dead.
That broad. We're in the 30s now, guys.
Brunettes with broad. Brunettes with shoulder length hair.
It was that one broad who he was.
See, okay,
he was banging, and then she brought her dead kid to the battleground, and then she killed him.
That was her.
Okay,
that was
hers.
Oh wow. Brunettes with shoulder length hair all look the same to me when they're covered in dirt and zombie butts, I guess.
Maggie was too busy with Glenn running the fuck away.
Yeah, they were trying to get away too much. She wasn't even around. She was trying to get Glenn and then get out of there.
I was like, we can get on the bus. The bus drove away.
Oh yeah,
fuck you guys.
Game
we'll get away some other way. Yeah.
Alright, so anyways, that is my discussion on Walking Dead Season 4 Fall Edition.
The mid-season finale.
I guess, yeah, the mid-season.
Where's Carl?
The
I hate
first
how
half.
everything is a fucking mid-season finale now, or they like actually named it. The
That's
mid-season
a
finale.
trend.
And everything has a fall finale.
More or less, we're not
That's a
playing
trend I
anything
don't
during
want.
Christmas. Here we go.
I'll be honest.
What?
The mid-season finale is a trend I don't really
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with
Oh,
what
no
you
one
want. It
does.
has to do with ratings.
like.
Fuck you.
They don't want to have miscellaneous
Fuck
weeks
you.
off. They
Just
want
not,
they want to be
not just
straight,
you, General,
break, straight.
But
I
for
know.
you for having
Still
to
don't
have
like it.
say that. That's just.
Well, because I'm just saying, you can not like it, but it's not going to stop.
I know.
It's-
They've had these forever, and they just had to make a stupid name for them. I hate. They always stop during Christmas time.
That's a weird complaint. But
I mean, they always stop.
I
during
hate that they named them. All right,
They actually have to call it a finale. It's more like, okay, we're taking that Christmas break now. We'll be back in June. That's
Whenever
just
you're
what it
ready.
is.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Just-
All right,
yeah.
thanks for watching. If you
Fuck
still
me.
are, you're probably not, but thanks for watching. If you still are, be sure to like and favorite and subscribe and share and all those good things everybody does. And until then, find your own way of resisting boredom.
Like reading the comic.
You can read the comic. That's something you can do.
Freeze frame.
Okay, children, today we're going to tell you about Walking Dead. And first thing you should know is we read the comics.